But you have to fail in order to learn.
Yeah.
That's right. So, we're all here.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah.
Did you find the, I looked on my computer for the sign-up sheet. Did you find it? To print out the, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought I printed it out.
You forgot.
Yeah, I probably forgot to bring
Oh, you did bring it? I can't find it on my computer. I even got here early to ask you about it. Standing outside there for a walk.
I didn't bring that.
I was.
Well, you can find that in your email folder because you emailed me.
I can't find it.
In your email?
Yeah.
You email me.
The sign-up thing.
Yeah.
I can't find it anywhere on my computer.
In your email? Because you email me. Check your sent folder. Yes.
Okay, you want to send it back to me?
Sure.
Yeah, so that I want to have everybody sign up again. Yeah. Okay, great. All right, so let's start with questions. Questions from last week. No questions?
There's no chair here.
That's all right. Oh, you mean right there?
No, I don't know. It's kind of in the middle.
Well, you can move it.
What?
You want to
That's okay.
Thank you.
Anyone have any questions about last week? What we talked about? Do you remember what your takeaways were?
Oh, I do have a question.
Yes.
Like anything ending with Y, is that always ending the sound will always be like an E sound? Like an E
Anything that ends with a Y, will it always have an E sound? Yes. Joy. My. Y.
Delay.
Huh? Delay. Yep. So the Y, especially, even almost everywhere the Y shows up, it has an E sound with it. The complicated thing about, one of the complicated things about English, proper English, is that some of the consonants, even some of the vowels, have what I call combination sounds. And Y is one of those. Y. There's 3 sounds there, right? So in order to say the letter Y, you have to say Y. Y. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right. So that's a really good question. I can't think of it, I can't think of a time when Y is used off the top of my head where there would be no E sound at the end of it. Right. Yeah. But what were your takeaways? You don't remember your takeaways? Class. You want to take, you've heard me talk about takeaways, right?
Speak slower.
Speak slow. Oh, you wrote that down. Very good. Anything else?
I think for those consonants ending.
I'm sorry, speak up.
Oh, for the consonants that ending like S, V, or B, whatever we end, we need to end sharply without adding.
Very good, without adding another syllable. Do you hear what she's saying? So if you have the word, the name, let's say Jacob. So you need to have a strong B at the end without saying Jacob. Jacob.
Jacob.
And that comes from knowing how you actually make a B sound. So, B. B. And when you put that sound at the end of a word, it's a little bit more difficult. So that's a really good takeaway. Yes. So being careful that your hard consonants at the ends of words are sharp and clear. I like that word, sharp. And speaking slowly. Anybody else? Those of you who were up here last week, what were your takeaways?
Yeah, I was up there. I have another takeaway.
What did you say?
I was there last week. I was up here, so I had another takeaway.
You had another takeaway. Another good.
Takeaway is for some of those 2 words, they need to have quiet time in between. Like once they blow up, it's really 2 words, not they blow up. Right?
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Like if you're going to blow up a building?
Yeah, I won't say blow up, I will say blow up. Like,
You have to be careful not to say them so fast that they get slurred together.
Right.
Right. Okay, that's a good takeaway. That goes back to speed, which was Michelle brought up before. Yeah, Michelle?
No conjunction.
Yeah, actually, my wife corrected me on that. It's not a conjunction, it's a contraction.
Oh.
I apologize, conjunction. What was I? No, and a contraction is where you take a word like it and is, and you say it's. So as much as we can, because we're learning how to speak formal English, we're not going to use contractions, because it adds to the Asian difficulty of saying things too quickly. And so if you add contractions to that, it can be difficult to understand you. And we're here so that you can learn how to be better understood in the workplace, with your colleagues, so on and so forth. Okay, what else? Any other takeaways?
The other one.
The V.
V, yeah.
V, the letter V. Right. Right?
So,
Hi.
I'm Carol.
I'm Ron. But they usually call me His Majesty, so you don't have to do that.
I mean the tongue's position or sometimes we're not using the right position to pronounce
The tongue position?
Yeah,
we
right.
talk a lot about that in here.
Oh wow, I missed that.
No, that's okay. We're not done, believe me.
Sure.
Yeah. So one of the things that we talked about early on in the fall or before Thanksgiving was the letter R.
R, okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
R.
that's one of the most difficult ones. So let's just review for Carol. Can somebody tell me about the R and what's the position of our tongue when we make it?
Back of the mouth.
Back and down. R. And is it a jaw consonant? No, it's not R. It's R. It's inside our mouth. Very good. Yes. Right. And it's different at the beginning of a word and at the end of a word. So if you say Ron, it's pretty easy, isn't it? But if you say odor, yeah, so it's harder. Harder to make it. So there's a word with two R's in it that are both very different. One is at the end of the word and one is against another consonant. And we have talked, Carol, in class about how the consonants become more complicated when they are coupled together or thrown together, right? So harder. Yeah. Not harder. Harder. Yeah, you want to really overdo the R. It's really interesting. It is really interesting, and that is that where singing is concerned, people want to, Native Americans, have trouble with the R in the opposite direction. They make too big of a deal out of it. So if I sing, let me think of a, I'm trying to think of a musical phrase that has R in it, so I can make demonstration. Oh, here's a good one. So I don't know this hymn, but the first sentence is, "Come, O thou traveler unknown." Okay? So that sounds fine when I say it, but when I sing, if I sing, "O come the traveler unknown," that sounds bad. To be so much on the R. So I actually have to tell Native Americans to not even say the R. Come though the traveler no, I'm not even saying the R. Yeah, but the way I'm doing it, it actually sounds like R, but in order to get everybody to, if this is an anthem or a choir piece, to get imagine if everybody sings traveler, that's going to sound really nasty, right? You can tell, it's funny, it sounds funny. But when you're talking, because you're Asian, and because the R is a hard consonant, you get to sound really nasty on that R. Because we need to get you from way over here to the middle. We need to get you saying that R. All right? So it's tongue down and back. What else?
Can I ask a question?
I'm sorry?
Can I ask a question?
Okay, so the correct way to ask that question would be,
May I?
may I?
Oh.
Yes, because can means, am I able?
Okay.
May is asking permission,
Yes.
right? Now, you're an adult, so I'm not going to treat you like a child, but children have the tendency to say, can I have that? Can I have that? Can I have that? I don't know. Can you? You know, that's my favorite phrase. Yes, you may ask a question.
Okay. Since you have been correcting how we pronounce the word, pronunciation, is that where the accent is very important? Because I used to say pronunciation. I think you emphasize should be pronunciation. So it sounds like the accent should be on the second.
Okay, what's your first name again?
Joanne.
Joanne. So first of all, we have to talk about what Joanne's doing with the word, right? She's doing that real fast thing on 2 of the syllables, isn't she? Say it again, Joanne.
Pronunciation.
Yeah, so ciation. And she's pronunciation. So the EA, you're saying it so fast that I can't understand you. I mean, I can. Yeah, and this is also an Asian, this is a non-American tendency. And that is not to honor all the syllables. So you get a pass, like I used to tell Min, you get a pass to say it slower, and it's going to feel slow to you, but it's going to feel right when I hear you. And this is really funny, because this is spelled P-R-O-N-O-U-N-C-I-A-T-I-O-N, but, and that would normally be pronunciation, right? But because of the structure of the word, we actually say pronunciation. Pronun, like if I have none. Pronunciation. Okay, I want you to repeat after me. Pronun. C-A-Shun. How many syllables?
4.
5 syllables. Yeah.
So the A has to be a long sound.
It has to be an honored syllable. Pronunciation.
What about interesting? Sometimes you say interesting.
A lot of people say interesting, don't they?
Yeah.
But the formal pronunciation of that word is interesting. You have my interest, and I am an interesting person.
Yeah, people say it different.
I know, they do. Well, they say it wrong.
Interesting is wrong.
Interesting is wrong. Interesting, like I'm going to rest. Repeat after me. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, not asting, but esting. Yeah, like I'm going to let you come to my house, or I'm going to rest. Interesting. That is very interesting.
That is very interesting.
Not that's, that is.
That is
Very interesting.
interesting.
That's a really good observation. That's why I
Even
said.
when you said it,
I know. I said
differently.
it differently. Yes, I said it wrong and I said it right. Min's pointing out the difference between formal English and American street language. We're not learning. You feel free to correct me, by the way. We're not learning street language in here. We're learning formal English. So if you are in front of your colleagues, and you should not say, I have something very interesting to tell you. You should say, I have something very interesting to tell you. Nobody will know that you're making a big deal out of it, except that they will get how clear you are and how beautiful your speech is. And you're welcome to correct me on stuff like that. Please do.
And also, is there any tool that we can use?
Excuse me? I can't hear you.
It's